Hey everybody, this is Alan Fenstermaker here with the Pro Wrestling Archives, and I'm actually coming across an article where it says Extreme Championship Wrestling once before tried to take on WWE. Its story begins in a Philly pawn shop. Todd Gordon launched ECW, which produced wrestlers like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Chris Jericho, Mick Foley, and more. Before the Bingo Hall, there was a pawn shop. Before Paul Heyman, there was Todd Gordon. And before ECW could thrive, the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance had to die. It started from the ashes. Gordon recently told the Inquirer the TWA ran shows in the eastern Pennsylvania area, Delaware, South Jersey, before it ran out of money in early 1992. A few weeks earlier, three men, TWA's ring announcer, its sound engineer, and its creative director, met Gordon, the owner of the Carver W. Reed and Son Company, at the corner of 10th and Sansom. Gordon was short, bearded, balding, typically dressed in a dark suit and white shirt. He met the trio in this dimly lit backroom office, outfitted with a drop-ceiling, bamboo-covered walls, and was desk-wrapped in black glass. The three workers enjoyed having an outlet for their passion and wanted to keep it going, but needed someone else who had collateral, secure a bond, and obtain a promoter's license. Not to be crude, but we needed the money man, said Bobby Ortiz, the ring announcer, now 70. But the meeting was so positive because I think Todd, deep inside, was a wrestling fan too. Gordon, a Drexel Hill native who had previously worked with TWA and is a promoter, found their passion inspiring. He didn't need much convincing, and from the meeting spawned Eastern Championship Wrestling. During the pro wrestling boom in the late 1990s and 2000s, ECW would rise to become the third largest wrestling promotion in the country. It grew to an ultra-violent brand of sports entertainment where any weapon was legal and often brought from home by bloodthirsty fans. Before WrestleMania 40 descends at the Lincoln Financial Field, April 6th and 7th, here's a look back at the Philadelphia-based promotion founded at Center City Pawn Shop in 1992, where Gordon endeavored to create something new. Before Xfinity Live, there was Market Street Live, a one-stop entertainment mall set inside the historic Lit Brothers building at 8th and Market Streets. The 33,000 square feet complex included 5 distinct establishments, including Michael Jack's and formal restaurant named for the Phillies great, who was an investor. And that Tuesday night, February 26, 1992, ECW set up an old ring on the dance floor at the original sports bar and held its inaugural show. It was a 6-man match card held in front of about 80 people sitting on the folding chairs and 2 sides of the ring, which Gordon borrowed from a wrestler. If you stood on the top rope, you would smack your head on the ceiling, said Gordon, who lives in Penn Valley and turned 69 in June. There was a bar on the other side and tables on the other. It was very intimate, Ortiz said. They would add more and more recognizable talent, gain local television programming, and begin to sell VHS tapes across the country on their way to gaining national exposure. Gordon went through 2 creative directors, laying out the storylines, matches on his own before turning over that side of the company in 1993 to a former manager who came through the promotion while gigs, which was Heyman. So that's when Heyman came into the picture. Mainstream wrestling at this time was a little more than family-friendly entertainment. ECW started bringing adult storylines, a grittier presentation, and intentional lack of tradition. It embraces a heart, humor, hard landings, bloody faces. For its television tapings, the company moved into a large warehouse on the corner of Swanson and Rittner in South Philly, which used to be the Vikings Mummers Group, as a storage rehearsal space. It also served as a super competitive midnight bingo hall. Heyman wanted to create so much noise out of the bingo hall that fans of WWF, WCW not only notice, but start clamoring and demanding the style that we were implementing, Heyman said. And to his credit, I never had to sell Todd on it. That warehouse would go on to one of wrestling's sacred sites, better known as the ECW Arena, routinely packing 1,500 fans into a building that is supposed to hold only 500. The fans who demanded both competitive performance and hard-working attitude wanted to see a hard-fought battle, predetermined for naught, and chant the name of ECW began the part of the television product's aesthetic. Everyone else wanted to tell you who to like and who not to like, Gordon said. But Philly fans told ECW who they liked. They got it, Gordon said, and so they became part of it. The promotion began to mix in more of the prominent names like Mick Foley, Taz, the Dudley Boys, Tommy Dreamer, Sabu, Mike Awesome. It would later feature guys names like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Rob Van Dam. And at the suggestion in 1994, the company changed its name to ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling. And then the legacy. After some turmoil in 95, Heyman bought out Gordon, taking full control of the promotion. I wish we would have walked through before we ran, Gordon said. The growth became so overwhelming, I couldn't run my business here anymore, and was going there at a rate it was growing. It was just going so fast. At the turn of the millennium, ECW scored a national television show on the TNN network, now the Paramount Network, and therefore solidified its spot as the number 3 wrestling organization in the United States. But the boost couldn't fix its extensive financial issues, and the promotion folded in 2001. Ultimately, ECW was a niche product that while disruptive couldn't broaden its appeal in time to stay ahead of the bill collectors. WWE, which had changed names from WWF, bought the company's assets of bankruptcy and hired Heyman, who will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in the ceremony on April 4th at the Wells Fargo Center. Chants of ECW still heard in the arena during violent matches, appearances by former ECW stalwarts as fans continue to show and name the company that started the back room of the Philly pawn shop. So that's pretty cool. Like ECW actually was born in the back of a Philly pawn shop. And later years, 32 years later, the entire wrestling world had set to descend on Philadelphia next week. Todd still sits behind some black glass-wrapped desk in the same office with the bamboo-covered walls. So that's pretty interesting how this all come to pass with ECW, and especially with WrestleMania coming up next week and all that, and just seeing how the ECW grew in the wrestling world, and just the birth of it with Todd Gordon and then Paul Heyman, and then where Paul Heyman's at now, getting ready to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. So Anyway, just thought you guys would like to check some of that out. And until next time, peace out.